Alrighty, so for this dividing polynomials by monomials, we're going to start the homework and do the first 3 problems together. Here's number 1. I'm trying to like fit it all in there and have the worksheet available. Maybe if I move this over, this will be good. There we go. That's a little better. All right, so I'm going to rewrite it like we did in the examples. So this is written horizontally right now. I'm going to write it like a fraction. And the first one actually is a monomial, just to get you warmed up, divided by a monomial. So we just need to be super organized and make sure that we use our exponent rules correctly. All right, so you start out with the numbers in the front, which would be, in this case, the 12 and the 2. Now, don't divide those, okay? Because they're just plain old numbers. So, I'm sorry, no, don't subtract those. That's what I meant to say, because they're just plain old numbers. You want to divide them. So 12 divided by 2 is 6. All right, so now we're going to move to the exponents. And I want to keep my x's together. Remember that this x right here is really to the first power. That's not a 0 there. It really has an exponent that's a 1. So this would be x. Now you're going to subtract. So 4 minus 1, like that. Then we're going to get the y's together. There's my y's. You write down y. They have the same base. Subtract the exponents. That'll be 3 minus 2. Now notice, we don't have any z's in the denominator. We don't have any w's in the denominator. So actually, that just makes your job even easier. All you're going to do is copy down this z squared and this w on the back of your answer, because there's no way to divide that any further because we don't have anything in the bottom that would go with the z's or the w's. So you just put them on the tail end of your answer. So let's simplify this. This will be 6x to the 3rd, y to the 1st, or if you just want to put a y, plain old y, that's good too, z squared w. And there you go. Okay, we cannot simplify that any further because we do not have like terms. All of these bases are different variables, so I can't add any of these exponents. Okay. All right. Number 2. Now we're actually into the polynomials. I can tell that I'm into the polynomials because I can see that there's a subtraction sign. And as soon as you have subtraction or addition, that separates the terms. And so you now have more than one term. You have, in number 2, you have 2 terms divided by 1 term. So this would be 2a cubed b squared minus 10ab cubed c divided by, now I'm going to write mine like how we did in the examples, like a fraction. Okay. Now you have to put that 2ab squared underneath each term of the binomial. So this will be 2a cubed b squared over 2ab squared minus 10ab cubed c all over 2ab squared, like that. So organization is so important for this. Math forces you to be organized. And that's really what we're practicing right now, okay? Organization and being super observant. So now we are going to just simplify like we learned yesterday. We go back to the concept that we learned yesterday. So you're going to do 2 divided by 2, which is 1. And then don't forget there's a little 1 right there on that exponent for the a's. So this will be a to the 3 minus 1. And then for the b's, this will be b to the 2 minus 2. All right, we'll simplify that in a second. Minus. Now we're going to divide these numbers. I'll give you a minute. I feel like I'm probably going too fast, maybe. You okay?
Yeah.
All right, good. So 10 divided by 2 is 5. Then remember these a's here, these have little 1s. So this would be a to the 1 minus 1. And then you got these b's right here. So this will be b to the 3 minus 2. And then you got this little c hanging out here all by himself, and there's no c's in the bottom. So you just put a c at the end of your answer. Okay. And then we simplify. So this will be 1a squared b to the 0 minus 5a to the 0 b to the first c, which is technically c to the first also. Anything that has a 0 exponent becomes a 1. So this b to 0, that is going to turn into a 1. So this would be like 1 times a squared times 1. This a to the 0 is going to become a 1. So this will be 5 times 1 times b to the first times c to the first. So 1 times a squared times 1 is just a squared. Minus 5 times 1 is just 5. And then b, c. Okay? So that's number 2. All right, I'm going to do one more with you, which is a nice big long one. So that's a good one to do together. In fact, I'm going to get a new piece of paper. And then if you have any questions, you can ask me. And I'll let you work on the rest of them by yourself. So let's do number 3. All righty. So for number 3, you have x, y cubed, z minus 4y squared z plus 6x, y, z minus y cubed, z. Now, you don't have to put those parentheses, to be honest. They put them on the worksheet because they were writing the division problem horizontally, and they wanted to make sure that it's written correctly, meaning you are dividing that whole thing by y times z. If they didn't put the parentheses, then it would actually, you would only be dividing this last term by yz. And so when we write it out, where we write it like fractions, you don't really need the parentheses. That's only when you write it horizontally. And actually, I am going to cut right to the chase and put the yz underneath every single one of these right now to save us a little bit of writing. Okay? You can totally do that. That's absolutely okay. If you want to scratch out these parentheses, if they're bothering you, you can. There you go. All right, so Now we're going to do what we learned yesterday, and we're just going to divide each piece separately. So in the first one, you have an X, but you don't have any X's in the bottom. So you're just going to bring your X down. Then we're going to put the Y's together. Remember, this is Y to the first power. So this will be Y to the 3 minus 1. Circle your Z's. Remember, these are little ones here and here. So this will be Z to the 1 minus 1. Now we're going to put the minus sign. I'll switch colors. You got a 4 right here. There's no numbers in the bottom to divide, so we're just going to bring the 4 down. Get your Y's together for this one. There's a little 1 right there. So this will be Y to the 2 minus 1. And then there's those Z's again, each having a 1 for their exponent. So this will be Z to the 1 minus 1. Next, new color. So we have a plus sign next. I got this 6 right here, but nothing in the bottom, so I just bring down the 6. I have an X right next to it, but there's nothing in the bottom for that either. There's no X's in the bottom, so I'll just bring that down too. Get your Y's together. Get your Z's together. Okay, remember that they have exponents that are just 1s. Okay, one more term. Hopefully I can squeeze it in there. Let's see here. Can I move it over a little bit? So there's a minus sign. All right, put the Y's together. There's a little 1 down there, so this will be Y to the 3 minus 1. And then the Z's, so this will be Z to the, these each have little 1s right here. 1 minus 1, okay? And I'll just move this over just a touch. All right, okay? That's a whole lot of letters on there. So we're gonna clean this up so it looks nice. So let's see here, what color do I want to use? How about orange? So this will be X to the, I'm sorry, to the first power, and then Y squared. And then what's going to happen with this Z right here? 1 minus 1 is 0, right? So this is going to go to 1. So this will be technically times 1. Minus 4 Y to the first. Oh, here we go. It happened again. 1 minus 1 is 0. So this goes to 1, technically times 1. Plus 6x. Now the y's in that z. Y to the 0 power, that's going to be a 1 times 1. Z to the 0 power, that's a 1. Minus y squared. And that one goes to 1 also, okay? So this looks like a lot also. So let's kind of, I'm going to put parentheses around each of the terms so that it doesn't look too crazy. Remember, addition and subtraction are what separates your terms. So I have a subtraction here, I have an addition here, and another subtraction. So this will be x, y squared minus 4y plus 6x minus y squared. And that's your answer. You can't combine any further. Remember from last week when we were combining like terms, you gotta have the exact same exponent and you have to have the same letters. So like this 4y and this y squared, we can't combine those because this doesn't have a squared exponent. And same here, like xy squared cannot combine with 6x or any of the other ones because you need an x and a y, and the y has to be squared. So that is your final answer. Okay. Alrighty, so I feel like you saw a good variety. You can work on the remaining ones on your own. If you feel confident in what you're doing, you're welcome to check out. But if you need anything, I will be here. I'll leave the call open for the rest of class, or you can just send me a message. And that's it. Have a great day.